Welcome to Galactic Command Tarot. This is a psychic beacon, so if you're watching this, then you're a member of Galactic Command. Now, you can choose to believe that or not, but as it is, you exist in one of two states or conditions, and that is either active or inactive. Now, active means everything I say or do or pull from the ancient Galactic Command Tarot deck will apply to you. Inactive means everything I say or do or pull from the ancient Galactic Command Tarot deck will not apply to you. To go from inactive to active, all you have to do is say nothing. You make that decision in your heart. And that's it. You just decide for yourself. Okay, so this is the ancient Galactic Command Tarot deck manifested by Archangel Michael in the presence of the Almighty God. So it talks. Okay, so as we deal it out, you're hearing the word of the Almighty God from the universe. And no matter who you are or where you're from or what day it is, this will apply to you. Okay, so let's get started. You shuffle the deck like this. And as if anybody out there doesn't know, Archangel Michael is a member of Galactic Command. It happened, in the time scale of all of forever. It happened rather recently, and it happened rather quickly. He grew up as a regular child. He made that decision to come to Earth, prove the Twinflame Journey could be done. Okay, so he volunteered. He acknowledged the fact that he wouldn't remember who he was, that he was Archangel Michael, that he was the champion of the Almighty God, that he was the leader of the armies of heaven. He wouldn't remember any of that. And so he came to Earth, and he was born as just an ordinary person. Unlike Jesus, who knew he was the Son of God, Archangel Michael had no idea who he was. And so Galactic Command sent the two guardians, as they always do, like that are with you, and they walked him through his life. They whispered in his ears, and he led a normal life. Growing up as a boy, he got bullied, he got in fights. He lied, he cheated, he stole, he drank, he smoked as he was growing up. All those things normal people do. And at one point, his life changed, and he made that change in his heart. And it was because he was a member of Galactic Command that the two guardians he was with kept whispering to him about what he should and shouldn't do, how he should draw closer to the light of the universe, the Almighty God. And over the years, he finally became a member of Galactic Command, and he raised his angelic frequency. Well, he raised his frequency to the point of being in the angelic realm. And at that point, he was Archangel Michael again. And then he manifested, somewhere along that line, he manifested the ancient Galactic Command Tarot deck. His whole path is uncertain. To know the path of Archangel Michael is to know the history of the universe, and who knows that except for the Almighty God. Anyway, so this is the ancient Galactic Command Tarot deck, and it has the Galactic Command symbol on it. As you see, that is Galactic Command, and if you flip it over, it's always Galactic Command. Doesn't matter how you look at it. And that's the symbol for Galactic Command. They wear that as a badge on their uniform. Okay, so let's get started. This is your reading. Ace of Wands. Now that is Major Laura. I won't tell you her last name, but she is She is literally, in Galactic Command, she's what you would call an advisor. Um, in political views, she would be the person who would talk to the prime minister or would talk to the president of the United States. She does a lot of calculations. It's the best way to put it. And right now it's Ace of Wands, which means she is in your life, organizing and orchestrating, doing things for you that are a benefit to you. This is a great card, Ace of Wands. Everything that you possibly could imagine is being orchestrated for your benefit, for your completion of whatever your journey is. It's a great card to start out with, Ace of Wands. Everything is doubled and doubled and doubled 10 times. So that's a great card. And she is Galactic Command. She is not angelic. She's a member of the great Galactic Command fleet that hovers above the planet unseen by most people. You know, you actually have to be a fifth dimensional being to see them, which is what they are. Now, I've explained what fifth dimensional people are and what it is. They exist right beside you. To them, it's normal. In their world, it's just like you and me looking at each other, talking to each other, picking up the deck of cards, eating, doing whatever. And it exists it exists right here. The thing is, it's phased out, you know, but they're still there. You can hear them. They talk to you and they sound like you in your own voice. And as I've said this before, if you want to hear that voice, go someplace quiet and say your alphabet to yourself. Go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Close your eyes, listen to your voice. They use your voice to talk to you. So you sit there and you might hear the words, "Hi, how are you?" And you'll think it's your imagination, but it isn't. It's them talking to you. But you have to learn to listen to them. And they'll tell you their names. They're not complicated names. They're just ordinary names. You might hear someone say, "Hi, my name is Bob." Or, you know, if you're Spanish, it might say, "Hi, my name is Mario," or something like that. You know, in German, it could be a different name. You know, in Chinese, it could be a different name. But they talk to you in your language, and they just speak normally. And what it is you hear them in your language, but they're actually talking in theirs. You know, so that is one way. And what you do is you acknowledge them, and then you start talking. And the more you start talking to them, the more they become part of your life. And the more you acknowledge that they're just walking with you, no matter where you go, where you've been, you know, what you've done, and they've seen it all. So don't be embarrassed, you know. And they will speak to you. You just have to listen, and you have to believe that they are sitting there listening to you too. That they walk with you. You know, you are never alone. That is one thing that characterizes members of Galactic Command who are not activated, is they feel lost. They feel like, I should be doing something. I should be going somewhere. And they're always standing beside you trying to tell you, yes, you're on the Twinflame Journey. You're looking for that other half of your heart, because you're not alone. There was also someone that you hugged and maybe kissed and said, I will see you later. And you both came to Earth to search each other out, to share that love on the planet. And in doing so, you were trained, you knew this would happen, and you knew that once you got to Earth, it would be up to your training and your guides to help you to remember who you are and to find your twin flame. And that's why you're always searching. You're always feeling, I need to be doing something. I need to be looking. You know, this is the Galactic Command Tarot deck, and it's for the Twinflame Journey. And now you have an acknowledgement right here. This person, this is Laura. She is real. And she is helping you. She's stepping in and she's helping you. You know, you have you two, and now you have her. She may not be directly in the picture, but remember, she's part of a large, huge fleet. She could help say things to others to help you with your downloads. You receive downloads every day. You may not even know it. When you go to sleep at night, there's an operator who will talk to your guardians and say, okay, how are they? Should I send down one download or should I send down 10? And they help you. You know, they help you understand what's going on, and you're sleeping and you don't even know it. So this is a good start. Knight of Wands. This is you. Now that is a Galactic Command shock trooper. That is you. That's what you would look like dressed up in Galactic Command, ready for battle. Ready for battle, fully armed, literally. The only thing you're missing is like maybe the bazooka. That is you, Knight of Wands. Action. Yeah, that's you, action. So, you know, the actions could be small. Wiggling your toe is an action. Standing up and thinking about it is an action. Even sitting there and pondering and thinking willfully about what you've just discovered or what's going on in your life is action. You have to do something. You have to think about something. This is you. That's who you are. There's your confirmation. That is who you are. You are a member of Galactic Command, and it's a military fleet. It's very peaceful. It protects and defends the earth, just like Archangel Michael does. Archangel Michael works with them. Archangel Michael is the protector and the defender of the planet Earth. And Galactic Command showed up while he was still trying to figure out who he was long ago. And they've been here for a very, very long time. And this is just a confirmation that this is you. This is you. The sun. Success. The success is that you're here. The success is that you have realized you are on the twin flame journey. What do you see here? The sun. What do you see in front of it? Almost blinded up by its light. It's an aircraft carrier and it's a battleship from Galactic Command. And who do you see in the foreground? Angels. Angels work with Galactic Command. They do. Because Archangel Michael is a member of Galactic Command, angels work with and around members of Galactic Command. It's very common. I mean, as you know, the angels outnumber Galactic Command billions upon trillions of times. You know, they take care of the universe. They're caretakers of the universe. They do things for the Almighty God. What they do, only God and the angels know. But they do work with Galactic Command. You know, because as I said, Archangel Michael is a member. He literally had to start at the bottom, work his way up. If you're curious, his rank is Major. He's not a general. He's not an admiral. He's not a commodore. He's a junior ranking field officer, which means if you go from general and you work your way down, he's like at the beginning of those. He's at the bottom, But he's above all the other officers. You start at the bottom of the office, you have lieutenant, and you work your way up to captain, and then finally you end up at like major, which is the middle. So that's his rank in Galactic Command. He is major. So this is success. You found out, but it also means you're on your way. You're on the right path. You may even see the finish line. You may know who you're going to be with. And if you're with them, this is a confirmation that you've found the right person. That you together, you just hold your hands, share your heart. Now, I'm not going to say it's all rainbows and roses and unicorns, okay, and butterflies. You are people. You are ordinary people. You may argue, you may fight. But when you do, don't go to sleep angry. That's awful. That's completely awful. That's one of the things Archangel Michael stresses. He gets angry. He gets sad. There are things that, he can't control. He's an angel. If he could control everything, he'd be the Almighty God. And I've said this many times. If you know everything, every answer, you are the Almighty God. And nobody knows everything. So he is a person. As I said, he grew up as a human. So he's a person. And the same as he says, do not go to bed angry at the people you love. Apologize, and some people say, well, I'll never apologize. They're wrong and I'm right. But at the end of the day, don't regret going to sleep. That's one thing, is do things that you will not regret. If you say something, say, wait, I do not ever want to regret saying that. And talk to each other at that moment. Don't let it linger. Tell each other what's in your hearts. It's that glowing energy of God's source inside of you. Talk to each other. Now, soulmates are different than twin flames. Soulmates, there's a love between you. That's an attraction. You can marry a soulmate, but they're not your twin flame. The twin flame is different. Don't get confused between the two of them. The twin flame is the other half of your heart. And this says you're going to find them. Like I said, don't go to bed angry. Resolve it before you go to sleep. Even if it means just saying, look, let's not go to bed angry. Let's kiss and make up, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. Even if it just comes to that. Don't go to bed angry with each other. There are many couples, and I know one. She loved her husband. And she wasn't angry. They weren't fighting. They were very peaceful. And she kissed him, and she went to sleep. And in the morning, he had passed away. But she went to sleep loving him, and he went to sleep loving her. And their last words were, I love you. So that's why. Temperance. Balance. Balance in your life. This is what I was just talking about. Don't go to bed angry. Keep that light in your heart. Look, the divine light of God coming down into you, into your heart, radiating out, showing you the balance of day and night, light and dark. You in the middle. you in the middle. Balance. Now, balance can also mean food. It could also mean alcohol. It could mean smoking or drinking or anything like that. Balance. You know, there was a Freemason named Benjamin Franklin. And when people would come to him and say, I smoke too much, I drink too much wine, I drink too much whiskey, he wouldn't tell them to stop. He would say, less. That's all he would say, less. You know, he wasn't there to criticize their lives. You know, there's a lot of self-help groups out there that will help you, but I think Benjamin Franklin's words say it best. Less. You be the judge of your own character. You know what's going on. I'm going to tell you what happened to me years ago. I used to smoke lots and lots of cigarettes. And I would go out and I'd say, this is the last pack of cigarettes I'm going to buy. And when it was out, I would go out and buy another pack of cigarettes. And I'd smoke them. And I would do this. And I would, in a way, I would make the pack last. I would, instead of smoking 5 cigarettes a day or something like that, I'd smoke 2. And it came to the point where I would smoke a cigarette in the morning when I got up, and a cigarette when I went to sleep, and I would not have any during that time in between. And I said, I am not quitting smoking. You know, that's what I put into my head. I am not going to quit smoking. In fact, I'm going to go out and buy another pack. So I did, and I bought another pack of cigarettes. And when I was finished and I was halfway done the cigarettes, you know, I was smoking one in the morning, one at night, I put the pack of cigarettes on my my living room table. And I put it there, right in plain sight, right beside the remote control. And I said, okay, well, I have half a pack of cigarettes. I don't have to go out and buy any. So that night, I didn't smoke a cigarette when I went to bed, but I smoked one in the morning. And I said, well, I have a pack of cigarettes right there, half a pack. You know, I don't think I'll smoke one tonight. So I left the pack of cigarettes there. And I went to sleep without a cigarette. And I woke up in the morning and I said, there's my pack of cigarettes. You know, I'm not going to smoke it. I'm not going to pull one out and smoke it. So I left the pack of cigarettes because I didn't quit. There's the pack of cigarettes right there. I went to work. And I kept saying that, well, I haven't quit smoking. There's my cigarettes. I can pick them on up anytime I want. And days passed. And weeks. And then I forgot all about the pack of cigarettes. They were sitting right there. And one day I looked down. And I had newspapers on the living room table. So I was looking through something, and I picked it up and I said, hey, it's a pack of cigarettes. And I forgot all about they were there. And I threw them away. That's a true story. I didn't quit smoking, I just stopped. So the moral of the story is, you can do whatever you set your heart to. It's your standards. It's your life. It's your life. Okay? Balance. The King of Cups. Your emotions should be love. Everything you do should be love. Just like that. That represents the divine light of God. Don't stop loving yourself. Don't stop loving the world, no matter how terrible it is. There is one angel in heaven, the purest of the pure angels. Her name is Archangel Little Michelle. And what she is she is the purest of pure. You know, you may talk about angels and all they are and all the wonderful things they are, but Archangel Little Michelle is the purest of all the angels. Just absolutely love. Her name means Little Michael. And as you know, Archangel Michael came to earth and he was human. So he has a human aspect to him. Archangel Little Michelle was never born. She was manifested by the Almighty God. And she is like Archangel Michael, but she is everything he isn't. She is that pure love. You know, she is the second most powerful angel in the universe. There's Archangel Michael and there's Archangel Little Michelle. And she loves all of God's creation, all of it, everything he can come up with. She loves it because it was created by the Almighty God. And as far as she's concerned, the Almighty God can't be wrong about anything. It serves a purpose and it serves a function. She's also perpetually 14 years old. She's tall. She's about 5'7", beautiful, loving, fun, happy, loves to laugh, loves to understand, loves to explore. You know, she is just a pure angel. One of the happiest people you will come across. You know, you may say angels are spiritual immortal beings, but they consider themselves a people among themselves, okay? And since Archangel Michael came to earth, they say the word people, and they mean it. You know, they work with Galactic Command, and it makes sense to have a word that explains them among the others. So if they're talking to like Laura, you know, Laura right here, right here, talking to Laura, they can say, yeah, my people are doing this, my people are doing that. You know, so we're helping you. So this is you. Learn to follow your heart. Learn to love. Learn to live. Be happy. See this right here? This is a dolphin. This means hope. In the background, if you look, there's ships. That's life moving. Galactic Command in the distance. The light of the Almighty God in you. Emotions are heavy, always heavy. You need to learn to stay on top of them like this. Float. Be balanced. Be light. Listen and not listen to people. Listen to what they say, but you don't have to let them affect the light in your heart. Hope. Hope that everything will go fine, that everything will work out. We have a lot of babysitters. We have a lot of people looking out for you and for the world. Hope. Sometimes it's hard to understand, but it's there. Okay? Can't lose hope. Bottom of the deck. Twinflame Journey. Look at that. 8 of Swords. Thoughts. These are your thoughts. Excuse me. These are your thoughts about your path. But look. Blindfold. Swords. Winding. winding towards the light. Doesn't matter what it means, is it doesn't matter what you do. What do you say? Your path may change, but you will always stay on it if you follow your heart. It doesn't matter. Think, believe, act, hope, love. There you are. That is the twin flame journey right there. And it's about how you feel inside you right now, your thoughts. Don't look back. Relive the moments, but don't look back. Moments of memories. You can learn from your memories, but don't look back. Don't regret. Whatever happened, happened because it was supposed to happen. If someone did you wrong, it was supposed to happen. If someone did you right, it was supposed to happen. These are part of that balance, remember. People say, why do good things happen to bad people? Why do bad things happen to good people? There is a purpose and there is a function. Any angel will tell you that. Galactic Command understands this. They would tell you that too. They would say there's a purpose and a function. So this is you. Believe. It's like the hope right there. Believe. Know. Even if you found your twin flame, know that this is divinely guided. Blindfolds on, doesn't matter. There's so many things I could tell you about being blindfolded. Let's just take a scary movie, for instance. There was a scary movie where these kids were lost in the woods, and there was an evil witch that was changing the scenery around them, so no matter where they went, they couldn't escape her dark power. As a member of Galactic Command, all you have to do is say, I am a member of Galactic Command, I can leave. But not only that, you as a member of Galactic Command, once you say that, you can pick up any object, a stick, and that is a weapon for you against whatever. To you, that would be the magic wand for fighting this witch. But also, think of this blindfold. If you wanted to escape from her realm where she was using her magic to make you walk into circles, you would just say, everybody, take my hand, take the back of my shirt. I'm going to lead us out of here. And you would put a blindfold on. And you would walk. And you would let God guide you out. Because only God would know the right way, and he would take care of you. Those are, it's just a story about a movie, but that is how God takes care of you. He believes in you, and he loves you, and you're on a path. And it doesn't matter where you go or what you do, he will guide you. Okay? That's a thought for you to think about. So, that is your reading. It applies today, tomorrow, or a million years from now. It doesn't matter. And as the angels say, good luck, and I will talk to you later.